Hi and welcome to another Watch Geek video. Today I'll be doing a tutorial for the module 3231 that is in this Casio DW-290. If however you have an older version that has a module 1189, this tutorial is also going to cover that as well, because they're basically the same, with the only difference being the length of the calendar. Now this movement is basically the same as the 1545 or 3221 that's in DW-5600 or 5000, so the basic G-Shock square. And the only difference is the screen layout. Now since people who buy this are probably going to be looking for their module number, not realizing that it's the same, I decided to do this one as well, although I already did a tutorial for this, and like I said, they're basically the same. Now, I would first like to thank Silver Time Watcher for supplying this watch, so if you want to check them out, you can click on the link in the description. Also in the description you will find a table of content with time codes, so you can jump to specific parts of the video or functions of the watch. However, I would advise you to watch the whole video for the first time, just so you get acquainted with all the options that this watch offers. Okay, so let's move on. The first screen is the home screen. Now in the home screen, this watch is going to display the seconds, the minutes, the hours, the date, the month, and day of the week. And while in the home screen, if you press the lower button, you're going to activate the backlight. If you press the mode button, you're going to cycle through different modes. And whenever you change anything in any of these modes, the next press of the mode button is going to automatically take you back to the home screen. Now pressing this button doesn't do anything. However, if you press and hold this button while in the home screen, you're going to activate something called a flash alert, and you're going to have this little symbol right here. What that means is that whenever an alarm goes off, a timer runs down, or even an hourly chime goes off, the watch is going to flash with its backlight. And we're going to leave it on just so I can show you how it actually looks. Now, if you press this button right here, which is the adjust button, you're going to enter the adjusting mode of the home screen. So this is how you're going to set up the time and date of this watch. And now the watch is going to ask you for the seconds, and by using this button right here, you can reset the seconds and also increase different values, and you go through different values by using this button. So this watch unfortunately doesn't have a back and forward button, but it can only go in one direction. However, it does offer the option of speed scrolling, meaning going through the values rapidly. Now this button right here is going to change while in the adjusting mode, is going to change whether you want a 24 or 12-hour display. So if we press it right now, as you can see, it's going to say that it's 9 p.m. If we press it again, it's going to switch back to the 24-hour display. Now if you reset the seconds by using this button after 30 seconds, so like now between 30 and 59, they're going to go to 0 and the minutes are going to go by 1 up. So let's do it like so. If you reset the seconds before 30 seconds, so between 0 and 29, the seconds are going to go back to 0, but the minutes are going to stay unchanged. So let's do it right now like so. Okay, with the seconds reset and synced to the atomic clock or your reference time, you press the mode button and the watch is going to ask you for the hours. And like I said, you cannot go down because this button, wherever you are, only changes the 12 and 24-hour display. So you can only go up. And like I said, you can speed scroll by holding this button. And when you want to stop it, you simply release it. And that's it. So with the hours set, you press the mode button and the watch is going to ask you for the minutes. It's the same. So you can only go up and you can also do the speed scrolling. Pressing the mode button again is going to ask you for the year. And now with this, you can go up and this one goes to year, I believe, 2099, while the earlier version, the 1189 module, will only go to year 2039 and then gonna jump back to, I believe, 95. However, to those who own the older module that goes only to year 2039, you have no worries because the calendars repeat themselves, I believe, every 30 years or so. So all you have to do when you get to year 2040 is find the equivalent year between 95 and 2039, and then you're good to go for another, I don't know, 15 or 20 years. So let's go back to the year 18 like so. Pressing the mode button again, the watch is going to ask you for the month. So again, you can only go up, and pressing it again is going to ask you for the date. Now the day of the week is not gonna be adjustable here because the watch automatically calculates it. So pressing the mode button again is gonna take you back to the seconds. So if you missed anything or you want to change something, you simply press the mode button until you cycle back to it. Once you've set up everything, you press the adjust button again to exit the adjusting screen, and as you can see, the watch automatically calculated what day of the week it is. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the home screen. Okay, moving on. The next function is the alarm. Now this watch has a multi-function alarm. It's a single alarm, but it can be a daily alarm, or yearly alarm, or a monthly alarm. And one other that I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so while in the alarm mode, pressing this button is going to toggle whether you want the alarm on, whether you want the hourly chime on, whether you want both the alarm and the hourly chime on, or whether you want both of them off. So by using this button, you cycle through that. Now, even when the alarm is off, as soon as you start adjusting it by going into the adjusting mode, it's going to turn itself on automatically. And now the watch is going to ask you what hours you want the alarm to be set for. So you set it up like this, you press the mode button, it's going to ask you for the minutes. Now if we leave the alarm like this and press the adjust button to go back to exit the adjusting mode, we just made ourselves a daily alarm that's going to go off every day at 2:05 a.m. However, when we go into the adjusting mode and push the mode button until we get here, which is the month selection, now if we select something like this and now exit the alarm setting, now we're going to have an alarm that's going to go off every day at 2:05 only during the month of May. So you have basically a monthly alarm. Now if we go again and change the date as well, like so, let's say 6 and exit, now we have a yearly alarm that's going to go off at 2:05 only on May 6th every year. So let's say for a birthday or something like that. And finally, if we change it like this by moving the months back to hyphens and press the adjust button like this, now you're going to have an alarm that's going to go off at 2:05 every 6th day of every month every year, if that makes sense. So it's, like I said, a multi-function alarm, and to take it back to being a daily, all you have to do is go past 31 to get to the hyphens for the day. And that's it. Pressing the adjust button again, you exit the adjusting screen. And that's pretty much it. Also, since the flash alert is on, when the alarm goes off, the screen is also going to flash. Okay, next function is, and like I said, as soon as you change anything, as you can see, the next press of the mode button takes you back to the home screen. So let's move on. The next function is the countdown timer. This watch has a 24-hour countdown timer that's settable down to the second, and it also has an auto repeat function. And in all the functions, I mean the countdown timer and the stopwatch, you have the current time visible right here. Now while in the countdown timer, you started with this button. If you started like this from zeros, it's going to go from 23:59:59, and once it reaches 0, it's going to beep and the screen is going to flash since we have the flash alert on. You stop it with the same button and you reset it with the adjust button. Now, if you want to adjust the button, adjust the timer to any value, like I said, between 1 second and 1 second and 24 hours, you simply press the adjust button to exit the adjusting mode, and here you can change the hours, and again you can speed scroll. Pressing the mode button asks you for the minutes, so again you can change the values with this button, and over here it's going to ask you for the seconds. So let's set up this alarm to, I don't know, 15 seconds. Also, while the alarm is in the adjusting mode, if you press this button right here, you're going to turn on or off the auto repeat. So as you can see, you can put it like this or like this. Now if we leave it at auto and exit the adjusting screen and we start the countdown timer, once it reaches 0, it's going to beep, flash, and restart the timer right away. Now this is pretty useful if you're on medication or something and you have to take medications every 6 hours, 8 hours, or 12 hours. You just simply, and as you can see, this is how the flash works, and also the auto repeat. And it's going to keep repeating itself until we stop it. So like I said, if you're on medication or something, you just set up the time that you want the medication for. So every 6 hours, 8 hours, or 12 hours, turn on the auto repeat, and simply start the timer, and that's it. It's gonna beep once it reaches that desired time and restart itself automatically. So to me, a pretty useful function. Anyways, to reset the timer to the time that you've set, you press the adjust button again. And that's pretty much it. And the last function that this watch offers is the stopwatch. Now this watch comes with a 24-hour stopwatch that measures down to 1/100th of a second. However, the 1/100th of a second is visible only for the first hour, and then everything moves to the right. So these become seconds, these become minutes, and these become hours. Now this is a regular Casio stopwatch, meaning that you can do split times and first and second place. So to start the stopwatch, you press the upper button. To stop it, you press it again, and to reset, you press the adjust button. Now to do the split times, you press the start button, and pressing the adjust button is gonna freeze the screen so you can write down the data. Once you've written it down, pressing the adjust button again unfreezes the screen. And you can also do the first and second place, meaning if you have two runners, when the first one goes through the finish line, you press the adjust button. When the second one goes through the finish line, you press the stop button. And now you can write down the time of the first runner. Pressing the adjust button is going to show you the time of the second runner, and pressing it again resets the stopwatch. And that's pretty much it. Pressing the mode button takes you back to the home screen. Anyways, this completes the whole tutorial for the DW-290, so I really do hope you found it useful and enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe by pressing this button right here, and until the next video, bye.